Commission of Rio Grande City. It is Wednesday, well, not July. August, I got the wrong one here. Give me a second. There it is. August the 18th, 2021. It is 6:05 p.m. here in Commission Chamber, City Hall, 5332 East US Highway 83, Suite A. And at this time, we'll have the invocation by Commissioner Garza, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance by Commissioner Flores.
Bow our heads. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you, Lord, for giving us the opportunity to get together today to conduct city business, Lord. We thank you that school has gotten started, and we ask, Lord, that you protect our students and our staff and teachers and administrators and everybody that needs to work at school. We ask you, Lord, that you protect them at all times and you protect their families as well. We ask, Lord, that you bless those present here today, that you bless us also, and we ask, Lord, that you help us to make the right decisions as we conduct business for Rio Grande. We ask, Lord, in Jesus' name. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, for liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Commissioner Garza, Commissioner Flores. This time we'll have roll call and finding of quorum.
Yes, Mayor Villarreal,
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Garza,
Here.
Commissioner Flores,
Here.
Commissioner Ramirez,
Here.
Commissioner Escobedo.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you, Ms. Garza. Next, we'll have item 1C, public forum. We have
Yes.
anyone signed up for public
Yes,
forum?
sir. Today we have Mr. Abel Gonzalez.
Okay. Gonzalez.
Good afternoon. My name is Abel Gonzalez. I'm a filmmaker from here from the Valley. Oh, sorry. Like I said, my name is Abel Gonzalez and I'm a filmmaker here in the Valley. Back in March, I made a movie here for Mexican cable called El Valor de la Vida. I drove an hour and 45 minutes to be here today to tell you that you have a wonderful city that's unlike anything else in the Valley. I would like to help the city get some publicity as far as bringing movies down to your city and the area. And what I propose is a collaboration between myself and this movie that I want to bring down. It's called Iron Sights. It has published 3 graphic novels and it has sold $2 million in sales with Indiegogo campaigns and hard copies. So what I propose is I also have a marketing firm called Tejas Advertising and Media. What I would do is I would do a PR campaign for the city to attract more movies to come down, and we would document all of this filming, and then we would make a video for you to share on your website, and then through our own expenses, we would go out and promote the city as a filming location, register you on websites to make it easier for filmmakers to find you, and then reach out to filmmakers that I've come in contact with and tell them about your city. All that we ask in return, which would be free of charge, is helping us secure locations, maybe close down the street for an hour or 2, which is something that a film would want you to do. And if we could document that and show that you're willing to do that for a fee, because of course you would charge that production company that would come down. Last year, in 2020, we saw a spike in streaming services in the viewership because of COVID. From 2017 to 2020, it multiplied by 2, and that created a new need for more content. Last year, Harlingen had a movie on Netflix which they brought down actors and they rented rooms and cars and flights. which helped their economy. That movie went up to the top 10 on the Christmas movies. The same company is coming to Brownsville later this year to do another comedy. And they're bringing their whole team, and they're doing all that. So what we want to do as Tejas Advertising and Media, make a PR campaign to put Rio Grande on the map as far as your historical locations and all the things that the city has to offer. Furthermore, like I said, this would not cost you anything. And if anybody has any questions.
What are some of the locations that you're wanting to film here around the city?
Well, last year we filmed close to the Christ on the rock. I don't know what you call it.
Santa Cruz.
The Santa Cruz. That's a beautiful location, very rugged terrain. It fits the premise of this book. The terrain around here is unlike anything else in the valley. Also, we would like to film close to the river so we could actually see the river. And some historical buildings, something that has more antiquity, not just all the way up and down here from where I'm coming from, Monte Alto. All you see is stripes, subways, all that Anytown USA stuff. Everybody else has that. What you have is something different and something that I would really want to put on film. I know you have a historic hotel. I always pronounce it wrong. The Laborde House? La Borde House. There's nowhere else you can find a hotel that has turn-of-the-century decorations like that. And if you could assist in maybe using it as a location and other locations you have like that, we would help you promote those on websites like the Texas Film Commission, which is run by the state, by Governor Abbott's office, filmtexas.org, and other agencies like that. Furthermore, in November, I'm going to Santa Monica to the Lowe's Hotel. They have the biggest market for film in the country. It's called the American Film Market. Countries come from all over the world to promote locations at that conference. It's an 8-day conference. $9 billion of movies are sold in 1 week, independent movies. So at my own expense, I'm already going out there. I would promote the locations to other filmmakers as well. And all this I could put in a proposal, which I could forward you, and then you could approve, and then.
And what you're asking from us is to help you secure locations that potentially close the street here and there, depending on what you're going to film, things of that nature.
Correct.
And you would be promoting the historic downtown, well, not just the downtown, but several locations, including the Borde House, you mentioned Santa Cruz, and here by the river. And on that, do you normally put for example, Rio Grande City in the credits there? Or how,
It would be in the credits, and then also on our website, and also on our social media. We would do behind the scenes. We would have a dedicated photographer, a videographer, documenting all of that. And then we could every day post to YouTube and Facebook and hashtag Texas Film Commission, Film Texas, and all the other hashtags that have traction in this market.
Well, thank you very much, sir, for sharing those words with us, and we appreciate that you want to showcase the beauty of Rio Grande City. But if you could do what you just mentioned and give us a proposal of what you want to do, and then we would discuss it as a commission. But thank you very much for those kind words.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Gonzalez.
Thank you, Gonzalez. Do we have anyone else signed up for public forum?
No, sir.
Next, business and orders, item 1D, departmental reports.
Here we got Mr. Hernandez that is going to introduce the new employee, and I think Mr. Diaz is also going to mention something about he's got going with the sports at the park.
Mayor, Commission, I'm here to introduce our newest staff for the Kelsey Bass Museum. This is Captain Rubio. She comes with a wealth of experience and knowledge. It's her second day, and we already are ready to plan the whole year. So she hit the ground running. We're very appreciative for her coming on board with us, and we know she's going to be a lovely addition to the museum. So thank you all for approving the position because it is very much needed. So
He's gonna run you to the ground?
no, I'm going to take it easy. I'm going to take it easy. Would you like to say a few words?
I just want to take this opportunity to thank you all for allowing me to come on board. I was born and raised in Rio Grande City, came back to live here after university, got married, raised my children. I am a product of mi lindo Rio Grande, and I'm so excited to be working with Sarah at the incredibly beautiful and historical Kelsey Bass Museum. I just hope that I can do just a little bit of the wonderful things that my predecessor has done. And with that, just thank you, and I'm ready for this new journey.
Thank you.
Welcome, thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor, Commissioners. I just want to recognize one of our athletes this summer. I mean, as y'all know, due to COVID last year, there was no summer track. Well, this year, our city, we weren't going to host it. So some parents came up and spoke to me that why couldn't we do only like what the school district was doing, only high school kids. So we decided to do only high school kids. Well, there was this female that her name is Serena Ramirez from Rio Grande City. She's a junior at the high school. At the state game, she went to state. Serena placed second in discus. She shot 120 feet. And in shot put, she got first. She shot a 44 with 3 inches. Not only did she win state, she broke a 35-year-old record that was set in 1986. So now she holds the record.
Very good, very impressive.
Nice.
I mean, she's not here. She'll be here in the next meeting to present her with a plaque.
Thank you for sharing.
She's a junior this year.
Who are her parents? I think you should.
The grandma is Nisa Alvarez. She works at the high school.
Oh, yeah.
And the father is
René,
Rene Ramirez.
Oh, wow.
buenos delas.
I mean, I know we had her here 2 years ago because, so she's always been real close, but this year she broke it and she won state. So it's something that.
Anybody else, Mr. Aguirre, that went to state besides?
We had 10 athletes, but I mean, they came out short. No one was in the top 5.
Right.
But I mean, we had out of the 20 kids, 10 of our athletes made it to state.
Very good.
But I mean, she was one of the ones that, not even that, last week, she got presented, well, we're still waiting on that plaque too. She won the Region 2 Female Athlete of the Year. So we're just waiting, hopefully she can win the state Female Athlete of the Year. We're just waiting on the results on that too.
So let's recognize her at the next meeting?
Yes, at the
Invite
next
her and
meeting,
her
we'll
parents.
recognize her with a
Yeah.
plaque and everything.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Aguirre.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Thank you for your coaching as well, sir.
Well, the volunteer coach was Coach Andy Lopez. He volunteered, he's a high school coach. I mean, and he volunteered to coach her all the summer. So,
And Mr. McGuffin, no?
yes,
the
and
young
Mr.
man,
McGuffin.
yes.
And I know Commissioner Ramirez helped out too with one of our athletes.
We're out there helping out, yes. I enjoyed it.
He helped out in the long jump, so.
Awesome. There's a
Thank you.
wealth of talent, so again, congratulations, Ms. Ramirez and the Parks and Rec Department as well for putting all this together, so thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Sir.
If any other department that wants to mention anything,
This time, any department would like to,
Angelina?
Hi, good afternoon, Commission. I wanted to kind of address what was covered in the previous, I believe it was a special meeting, And it was kind of talking about our effort in needing to promote more COVID vaccines and stuff like that. So I wanted to let you know that we've started a campaign, and you might have seen it. You might have seen it on social media. I know Ms. Claude is very active, and so is the mayor. And it's called Stop the Spread. So we will be getting signs put around town. We'll be getting masks made. We'll have promotional items to give out to everyone. But that will be basically our branding and our initiative to kind of promote to stop the spread of COVID.
Very good. That's a great initiative, I think. Just continue to put the word out there. So it's important. Thank you.
And any ideas that you guys have, I'm only a text away or an email away. So, all right.
Thank you,
Thank you.
And that is an effort that we must continue to do, especially now with this current variant and having to remask. So continue to urge the public to get vaccinated, and hopefully very soon we'll be doing the younger populations as well. We can't wait for that campaign to start with the 2 and older. So hopefully in the very near future we can proceed with that as well. So it continues to be there, so we must deal with this normal. So thank you to everyone who's making that happen. Thank you, Ms. Villarreal, and all the city staff as well for that. Anyone else, any other director would like to? Ms. Holt, I know you always have something. No, Ms. Holt? Okay. I always have some great news to share, Ms. Holt.
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners.
Good evening.
We are concluding our summer reading programs, and happy to know, to tell you that we had over 140 people still signing up. It was virtual, but we did have a party for them at the Lopez y Girina complex. Ronald McDonald's participated with that. They had a video arcade that they gave out as a prize for the kids, and it was very interesting because I didn't know that they had done the same thing with the schools. And one of the children that won was like a millionaire reader for the school district, and he's the same one that won for our event, Dante Ruiz. Very avid reader, and his family was there. And then he got to select the next reader, closed his eyes, and picked another winner, and it happened to be his cousin. So it was a good family event, and his cousin was Josue Ruiz. Then the Friends of the Library donated 2 backpacks, and we gave them out, and it happened to be 2 sisters. So it was a family event. We got 2 cousins and 2 sisters that won. There was Genesis and Sarah Garza. And I also shared with you some of our numbers of our visitors, and we've been averaging over 1,000 a month. Last month we had 1,136. So I don't know what the numbers are going to be moving forward, but if you could see our numbers, the highest was in June, was 1,200, and that's when we had our program, because we're still open, and people can come check out books, and they can come and make copies or whatever. So thank you all for everything.
Thank you, Ms. Foltz. Appreciate it. And along those same lines, of course, with the onset of we've been in hurricane season for some time already, and there were some storms out in the Gulf, but there does not appear that they're going to hit us. Chief Muñiz, would you like to just give us a little update on everything that's happening, and how are we getting prepared for any future storms, or what can the public, information you can share with the public about preparation?
Good evening, Mayor, Commissioner. Yes, as of this morning, Grace, the tropical storm Grace did turn a little bit southern, and so it's going to avoid us. We might get some minor rain, but nothing major. We expected at the onset a couple of days ago. We had more expected it coming more towards us than before. But I've been in contact with Public Works and making sure we have the equipment ready, sandbags, and we were getting ready just in case it was going to come up. And we still are whenever we get an event that close. And we still advise people just be opposed to everything that's going on, and just keep watch and just be vigilant and speak up.
I know we've done the promotional tips for individuals or residents on how to prepare for storms. I know we put it out before. Let's go ahead and resend those, any of the tips to get ready for potential storms. Just, you never know when we might get one. So again, just a reminder as to what to do with tips and get ready for potential storm that might come our way.
Yeah, we are promoting on our website as well as the city's website, fire departments, and we'll be posting some more up in the coming future.
Perfect. Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, anyone else before we conclude this section? All right, moving on, it's item 2, consent agenda. And we have approval of departmental travel requests, letter A, letter B, approval of minutes from previous meetings, letter C, approval of action taken at the meeting of the RGC-EDC held on July 14, 2021. And item 2D, approval of action taken at the meeting of the Historic Preservation Committee held on July 22nd, 2021. Should have gotten your packets. At this time, we're ready to entertain a motion on that.
Yes, Mayor, there are no objections. I move to approve consent agenda items A, B, C, and D as presented.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion to approve by Commissioner Ramirez and second by Commissioner Flores on items 2A, 2B, 2C, and 2D. This time, we, all those in favor signify by raising your right hand. Motion passes. Next item is, and before we continue, just I know we, last Friday to the staff, excellent event we had last Friday with the binational, and we came out in the monitor as well, but it was a binational effort to meet. We had multiple municipalities, we had our EDC, we had our Chamber of Commerce, we had different municipalities that attended, both on the U.S. side and Mexican side here in the border. And the initiative is to continue to promote a regional plan, a regional campaign to continue to attract businesses and trade through our ports of entry. That's something we've been pushing for in the last several weeks, and it continues. I know they had a symposium as well. This was it yesterday, Chief? A symposium.
Yes,
a symposium as well, and it's all leading a campaign and plan to promote trade and commerce and business once of course, the bridge is open up, but right now it's still not essential. But thank you to all the staff that put this together. It was excellent. Again, our EDC, our chamber did a tremendous job, and the staff there as well. It was well attended, and we will continue to have those continued meetings. And I know Ms. Guillen, I know she's been charged to continue to have an emphasis on our port of entry, since that's critical in promoting trade, and at the end we are attached or at the hip with our port of entry, so we need to continue to promote that. So again, staff, everyone that was part of that, excellent. Thank you so much for making that event a success. And we're already seeing the benefit and fruits of that event, and we'll be having more conversations with potential investors in the weeks to come. So again, thank you. Moving on to item 3, presentation. Letter A, presentation and discussion related to proposed budget for the city of Rio Grande City for fiscal year 2021-2022.
Yes, sir, Mr. Cantu.
Good evening, Mayor, Commissioners.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
I want to start off by saying that this has been one of the most challenging budgets the city has had, I guess, since its incorporation. Not for any bad reasons, it's for all the good reasons. We saw a lot of increases in our 2 main sources of revenue, which is property taxes and sales taxes. Sales taxes alone saw a 15% increase this year compared to last year. We're not projecting any increases from what we're having this year, so we're just going to budget the same amount that we received this year. We should. There's no indication that sales taxes are going to be going down anytime soon, hopefully. We've been very lucky. We've had a pandemic upon us, and we've been surging in our sales. 540,000 increase in sales taxes alone from last year to this year. And we're projecting the same amount for the following year. Property taxes, same thing. We saw the valuations go up 13%. That's it's a big number. Normally it's 3 to 5% increase on valuations. This year, 13%. Not sure what happened there, but we'll take it. It's a good number for us. We should be seeing another $125,000 increase there in those revenues. So just in those 2 revenues alone, we should be seeing close to 670,000 increase. I know the commission has always had the employees in mind. They've always wanted to take care of them. We've been very limited in what we could do before. And this year, we went ahead and budgeted a 4% increase across the board for all the staff that was proposed by the commission. We were able to do it. We came up with a balanced budget. Like I said, everybody across the board, 4% increase. That should take care of, I mean, the inflation for the year hopefully continues. And I know, like I said, council's always wanted to take care of the staff, so it's something that they've always been wanting to do. But again, limited resources has limited them. So this year it happened. Well, it's there. It's proposed already. We also are adding 6 part-time positions. I know almost every department is low on staff. I probably can't say a department that's fully staffed right now, but every department has done a great job. I want to commend every department head here for doing an excellent job with the limited resources that they've had in the past. Everything looks promising for the future. I think it's going to continue to grow. It's been showing, like I said, in the sales taxes and the valuations, property taxes. So hopefully in the future we continue to grow and more revenues come in, more resources come in. We're going to be hiring, or it's proposed in our budget, 6 part-time positions, 4 of which are for public works and parks. We're going to start them off as part-time positions at the beginning. Hopefully they work out and we can bring them in full-time. There's going to be a part-time position for here at City Hall that's going to be helping out the city secretary, which is always staying late to work. I mean, our personnel also. I mean, there's only one person for that department each, so we're going to have a part-time person brought in to help them out. We're going to bring in another part-time position for accounts payable. The finance department it's always playing catch-up on everything that we have to do, so we're bringing another part-time position there. Inflation on gas prices, we're projecting probably like 120,000 increase in fuel and oil for the fleet of the city. We're able to budget for that inflation. Health insurance went up 56,000 for this year. We were able to budget for that as well. We're also proposing salary increases aside from the 4% for the PD, for the officers and dispatchers, to bring them up to par to what the county's paying. We keep losing officers and dispatchers in the past because they go elsewhere because of better pay. So this is going to bring them up to par with what the county's paying, and I'm not sure what the school is paying. We can find out, but this should bring them up to par with the county. It should keep them happy for now. So aside from the 4% for the officers, which is going to be 17 officers are going to receive $372 more aside from the 4%, and 7 dispatchers are going to get $1,379 more aside from the 4% also. We're also bringing in incentive pays for PD, fire department, planning, and parks, I believe. I know education, it's always crucial for every department, and incentive is one way to I guess, compensate the employees. Go out there and get yourself a license and you get an incentive pay. So we're proposing $4,500 for PD, $14,500 for fire department, $5,500 for planning, and $1,500 for parks. And again, those are just incentives. Hopefully gets the employees morale up and helps them go out there and get better prepared for doing a better job for our citizens. I believe that's it. That pretty much covers. With that, we have a balanced budget. I don't know if anybody's got any questions.
Sir, the question is, again, the balanced budget, and you already stressed that.
Yes.
And obviously with this, we're including the percent increase as far as salary and addressing all the other staffing issues that we have. So it's all going back to making sure that we're in a place that we can continue providing services. And I know the city continues to grow, even though the census numbers did not reflect the growth that I think, 15.5, it just seems that we have a lot more residents than 15.5, but nonetheless, those are the numbers. But our city continues to grow and more businesses, so staffing, we're gonna need that, absolutely. And we've addressed every contingency on there. Going back to the idea of incentivize, that's a great addition to incentivize certifications, things that are gonna help us. So in a sense, the employees getting incentivized to get the certification that's gonna benefit within that department. So by all means, it's a win-win.
Yeah.
And going back to what you said, officers to be at par with other entities around.
Correct.
So it seems that we've already spent a lot of time. I know Chief and yourself have spent a lot of time with that budget and visiting with all the department heads and directors. And as long as we continue that 5-year plan to where if for some reason we didn't accommodate every single aspect, the plan is to then next year continue that accommodation until we get to the point where we want to be. So just for directors, if you didn't get every list on your wish list, keep in mind that this is a work in progress, and every year we're gonna make sure that we accommodate as we go through the next 5 years and potential 10.
I don't have any questions, but I do want to say thank you, Mr. Cantu. We know that, all the work that you've put into this budget, and every year we see that the city's financial position keeps getting better and better. Yes. And you've been very instrumental in helping us get there. So we really appreciate all of your hard work.
Thank you.
And I'm very happy that we were able to do this pay increases for all of the employees across the board. They really deserve it, and especially our police officers.
Yes. I also wanted to add, since you mentioned on the financials, also our fund balance is at a 2.1 million at the end of 2020. We should be seeing another $200,000 increase by the end of this year. Again, our fund balance normally is we should be having a three-month operations in our fund balance. With this, it'll probably take us up to a 4 or 5 month in our fund balance. And again, like the mayor said, if not every department got everything on their wish list, but we're being very strategic on the way we plan things. So we're stretching out on a 5-year plan. So we should be able to accommodate, like the city's growing, the revenues are coming in, so everything looks promising for the future.
And that's the key, that even though we're in an excellent position, we need to plan out for the next 5 years and all the improvements that we're making along with staff and additional staff to accommodate all the needs. So even though, like I said, this is not just for this year, this is accommodating the decisions that we're making for the next 5, 6, 7 years, because it'll impact the budget for the next few years as well. So, but thank you for that, and Chief, I know you all spent a lot of time scrambling numbers.
You crunched the numbers, but
crunching numbers.
There was a lot of, with the directors and everybody else, so, thank you.
All right. Any other questions, commissioners?
No, Mayor, just again to reiterate what Commissioner Flores said again, I'm just happy we were able to give a 4% increase in salary, and I know we've gone through a lot of growing pains in the past couple of years, but I think the city's in a great position. We've gone through a lot of fantastic growth, or positive growth, and again, it's all due to hard work you guys put into, like you mentioned earlier, a lot of y'all stay very late, and that just goes back to, it's a reflection of the work that you all put into this city, and again, to all departments and to all the employees of the city. So thank you all so much.
Thank you. And I can probably say this from every department head and every employee in the city. Thank you for considering the employees. That 4% is going to go a long ways. Like I said, it's just the beginning. I know Commission wants to do more all the time, but we're very limited with the revenues that we have, but we're very strategic with the way we plan things for the next 5 years. So there's good things coming.
And the other portion is the insurance. One of the things that we pride ourselves in is that our insurance, it's zero for employees, and as long as we can continue to keep it that way, that's huge. Where employees don't have to pay for their insurance. And really, it's zero out, and hopefully we can commit to continuing to do that. So that's huge in itself, plus the additional 4% that goes a long ways.
And by the way,
Talking about the insurance, Mr. Cantu, I mean, is that a good insurance that we have for our employees? I know sometimes, deductibles are crazy high, and they have to pay out of pocket for a lot of things, but how is it compared to other?
I'm not sure what Ms. Brown, you wanna say
Well,
that?
we'll
I
come
mean,
back to
for
that
me,
item.
for me, it works great. I think it's a very good
Okay.
insurance. I don't use it that much, but I think it's better than other places. I don't wanna mention any names, but I think we have a very good insurance in place. Our deductible is not very high, I think. I know every year it keeps going up, but every year.
Okay.
We'll come back to that one, and we'll have Ms. Brown address that. All right.
And by the way, the budget's already posted online. It's the proposed budget only. It's not the approved one yet, but in case anybody wants to take a look at it and have any questions.
Okay, and just refresh our minds, the timelines for all the budget and procedures, just to make sure we're on the same page.
It's already been posted on the webpage, the proposed budget. Later on the agenda, we're gonna have the tax rate for the property taxes. If it passes, we're gonna have, I believe, a special meeting on the first. By then, we could approve the budget there, and we could approve the tax rate as well.
But everything's already in motion to
Yes.
proceed, and if I recall correctly,
The newspaper on the 25th.
On the 25th, yeah, it's gonna be placed, the tax rate's gonna be placed in the newspaper.
Yeah, and on the first, we'll have the special meeting.
okay. All right, and this is just a presentation at this point, right? For
Yes.
this item, we're not-
Yes,
and then
no action.
we'll-
No action.
to items 4A and 4B. All right, thank you, Mr. Cantu.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Cantu.
Thank you, sir.
Next item is 4 items for consideration and approval. Letter A, discussion and possible action to approve several contracts, purchases, payments for the water department, each not exceeding 50,000 or triggering the Texas procurement process. Item 4A,
Yes, Mayor, Ms. Baez is out sick today, so there's the attachment to the purchases for basically all this PUD. And there was a question on one of this by Commissioner Gauss and Commissioner Escrow about a surcharge with the McGuire tanks for 2 to 3% addition in fees for the steel or the change in price. I want to get legal to look at that because I think that, it's not more than $2,000, but it is $2,000. I think the last meeting that we had with them, they said that they weren't going to charge anything, and we need to deal with Mr. Villarreal and see if that's something that they can or can't do at that point. So I don't think these have been paid out yet, so we'll look into that matter and see where we're at. And on that one also, I talked to legal. There's another item that came a little bit late for Chief Muniz. He said that for us just to mention it here, and it would be okay. That's $5,300 for the garage for the airport. It needs to be replaced. There could have been old and broken down. As you all know, the fire chief and the fire department received several new trucks, and they're going to be using Station 2 from now on, and they're kind of repairing it. And it's imperative that they fix that gate because it's kind of broken and needs to be, it's an emergency type of a purchase. So that's all we got. Unless you have any questions on anything, we'll try to answer everything.
Is that building empty, Chief?
The Forestry Service had an agreement with the city for a long time to utilize it. And I think
They're not using it anymore?
nobody's using it anymore. I don't think they ever even used it. They used it for a while. And there was an agreement there, and I think we were going to get out of that agreement, which we could. And we're going to start using it at another station for the fire department. And that'll allow us to be able to park some of the vehicles that we have there because we have nowhere else to put some of the new vehicles.
With so many new vehicles, Chief, you're gonna need space to store?
You need space to
We're
store.
gonna need a hanger also later on. Use a hanger. Yeah, but,
Are we gonna man it also?
we're looking into a grant that might be coming in, a safer grant, and hopefully, it pans out and we can get more employees. Other than that, we probably man it, if we don't get them, we'll man it like during the day. Basically, we'll send somebody over there just to check out the trucks that we're gonna have there, and basically 8 to 5, and then come back. If we don't get that grant, that safer grant that we applied for individuals. But, yeah, we do need it.
In regards to what Noe was talking about, I just wanted to know if that is part of the original price tag on the complete project, or if it's something that they are wanting to adjust just because prices have gone up. I mean, they're under contract.
Right.
And I think that we should check and make sure that, they're not pulling another one on
Right,
us
right.
like the last time.
And I agree. I think that any changes need to be brought before the commission, unless it's specified on the contract, that any increases,
Yeah.
depending on prices for materials, obviously, but that will be something for the attorney to look into.
I will get Mr. Herrera to look into it.
So what would the motion be at this time for some of the items that are okay and the ones that are questionable? I guess to.
Approve pending, I guess, attorney.
Calixto's on, I just need to, Cal, can you,
Just to make sure we make
Yes,
the correct motion.
I'm here. I suggest that, can you hear me, Melissa?
we
Yes.
can hear you, we just need a.
Yes, I suggest approval pending review by legal and the deputy city manager. With that clause in there, we're not tied to it.
Okay.
Okay. Approval pending review by legal.
That's it, right.
We any other questions or ready to entertain a motion at this time?
No, just again, just a quick comment on that brush also, Mr. Castillo. I know we've discussed options for that, but again, it's an extremely high number. So we need to look at, again,
Yes.
move forward with the discussion we've had at the workshop.
We
to be able
already
to-
have all the information, Commissioner. We sent an email to legal to start looking into that. We had discussion with Victor this morning.
Okay.
And we have all the numbers. We just need to put a letter to TCEQ to start moving on a permit for us to be able to do our own thing. It's just a matter of time of how long that takes. Mr. Milan and the fire chief and, we all looked into the other locations where they're taking care of their brush and, we have a good place that we can do it. So hopefully just a turnaround on TCQ and see what they tell us, and then that should be pretty quick right after that.
All right. Well, with that being said, make a motion to approve item 4A, pending review by legal and our city manager.
I'll second.
Have a motion to approve by Commissioner Ramirez, second by Commissioner Garza. Those in favor signify by raising your right hand. All those opposed, left. Motion passes. Next item is 4B, discussion and possible action to acknowledge the Stark County Appraisal District's certification of the City of Rio Grande City's 2021 tax roll.
Like I mentioned before, Mayor, I'm not sure what needs to happen here, but the appraisal district gave us the valuations for 2021. Again, it increased by 13%. 601,389,368 was the net taxable amount for appraised values. It went up from 527 million last year to 601 this year.
It's just, this one, it doesn't need a vote. This is just a new law that came out that now we have to bring it up to you. Also, we can present the new appraisal, was never done before. But as of last year, now we have to bring it up to council and just, acknowledge and say this is the Stark County Appraisal District's tax roll.
So then the motion here would be,
No action, no, it's
No,
information
there's
purposes.
no action, right, Cal?
Correct.
Yeah.
It's just, they're just advising the commission, the valuations.
Yeah, no action.
So, okay, so no roll call. That's okay.
So you can go on
It's,
to.
no, it's not a roll call vote.
So you can go ahead and go on to item 4C.
item for what?
4C.
B. 4D.
Give me a second.
4C.
All right, so next item is 4C. Discussion and possible action to approve a proposed tax rate for tax year 2021 and authorize a public hearing on September 1st, 2021. Item 4C.
Okay, on this one, Mayor, Commissioners, Ms. Laura Garcia from the school district is here in case anybody's got any questions, but basically what she did, I sent her the information that she requests so that she could calculate the taxable rates. As you may recall, they changed the names last year, so this year's names are the no new revenue tax rate with the information that was provided to her, came down to be 0.458301. That tax rate would be a tax rate that we could adopt that's gonna bring no extra revenue. It would bring the same amount of revenue that it did last year, nothing more, just the same amount of revenue that it did last year. The voter approval tax rate is at 0.54944. That voter approval tax rate is as high as we can go without having to go out for a voter approval.
And what was it again? 0.54?
0.549440.
Okay.
And the de minimis rate, which I'm not sure what that means, but that's 0.607675.
Hold on. Do we answer? Just to make sure, it's because I'm having trouble with my technical difficulties here.
The de minimis rate is 0.607675.
If I may, the de minimis ratio is a rate for cities who have population of less than 30,000 residents and don't have enough growth in their property value that you can go as high as that rate.
Now, with those numbers being said, our proposed tax rate would be a 3-cent increase from last year, which would be...
Would be a what?
A 3-cent increase from the property tax rate that we had last year.
And staff is recommending what rate here, based on everything that we're planning.
The property tax rate that's being proposed is 0.537579. Now, I want to mention that those 3 cents would all go into the INS. This year, our debt increased by $392,755. And as you all may recall, we got the COs last year. This year, we're gonna start paying it off from the general fund. Last year, we had some fund balance in our INS fund. This year, we don't have it anymore. We're gonna get some help from the water department of $150,000 to pay some of that debt. But our debt is gonna be $947,850. So with the proposed rate being at 0.537579, our debt rate would be 0.155551.
Okay, so just to be clear, the 3 cent would put us at 0.5?
537579.
7579, okay.
Out of that rate, 0.155551 would be the debt rate. That's an increase of almost 6 cents from last year. Last year, we had 0.099345. And that's the amount of collections that goes directly into our INS, which is to pay the debt.
So what does that mean, Mr. Cantu, for a homeowner that owns a home that's priced at $100,000?
With the 3 cent increase, the average homestead house would see a $20.53 increase.
Per year.
That's the average amount for a taxpayer.
$20.
Of course, there's going to be higher, there's going to be lower,
Right,
but the
but on
average,
average, about $20 a year.
homestead accounts is, I believe, $68,000, which would be at $20.53 more in taxes for the year.
Okay, so to be clear, it's, you said 0.537579, and for purposes of the motion, what would the motion be, just to make sure we have?
I think the
This
motion.
is gonna be a record vote.
Yeah, and that, our property tax
the
rate
motion
would
has
be
to be specific.
0.537579. The INS would be 0.155551.
All right, you're going too fast. So INS?
INS 0.15. 5551.
0.155551.
Yes, and our M&O would be 0.382028. Our M&O means that's the amount that we get to work with for our maintenance and operations. Just want to note that amount came down from last year. Last year we had 0.408234.
Okay, and for the motion, it has to have the specific numbers you mentioned.
Yeah, it has to have the property tax rate, the INS rate, and the M&O tax rate.
It's not there.
It's there.
But it's not there, I don't see it.
Property tax rate is right here.
It's on the form because you can't see it on here.
Which one?
Can't see it?
Which page?
Which one is it?
What page are y'all looking at? Just to make sure we're on the same page.
What's the motion? Yeah, before the motion.
To adopt the tax rate, this property
I'm
tax
gonna tear
rate,
it up.
of which, do we have to mention that the INS and the M&O?
It's the second page, it's the second page on that. It's the second page on the item.
That's what I'm saying, so what's the correct wording?
Right after that one. Right done. Right
Yeah, I'll show you the wording for, okay, Mr. Lopez.
M&O.
Council would be the
Is that
correct
M&O?
wording
.38.
for the motion.
28.
INS,
INS.
Count.
0.15.
55.
Yes.
They,
So to
they
adopt
want to
tax
know
rate of
what exactly would be the
M&O and
correct,
INS.
wording of the motion. And it is a record vote, but how would they motion it?
Okay, so this is a total of, this is a total of 2.
Do they have to, say the property tax rate?
Let's just do it, I mean, have
Yes,
a record. You got them all, Commissioner?
It has to be a vote, individual vote call.
The INS, the M&O, and then the final, which is 5.4.
Sure the numbers Mr. Cantu mentioned are on the motion.
You got it, Commissioner?
Got it?
And it'll be the 0.54, I guess that'll be the total. All right. All right, we ready to entertain a motion at this time?
Yes, and Mayor, this is item 4C, correct?
Yes, item
4C.
4C.
Yes, Mayor, I move to approve item 4C to adopt property tax rate of 0.53759 and M&O rate at 0.382028 for a total INS of 0.155551.
It's to propose. To propose, the proposed tax rate.
Proposed tax rate.
So are we good with that?
Yes.
Or do we, yes?
Yes.
All right. At this time, we have a motion to approve by Commissioner Flores. I'm not going to repeat all the numbers. Do we have a second?
I'll second the motion.
Second by Commissioner Ramirez.
And now I need a record vote. Mayor Villarreal,
In favor?
Mayor Pro Tem Garza,
Aye.
Commissioner Ramirez,
Yes.
Commissioner Flores,
In favor.
and Commissioner Escobedo.
In favor.
Motion passed.
Next item, item 4D, discussion and possible action approving order number 2020-1. Is that a U? U amending previously approved order number 2020-1-T, extending the city's disaster declaration until September 30th, 2021.
Yes, Mayor, this is to amend the order and continue with it until the governor actually changes it or closes it down. If you have, Chief Muniz is here if y'all need some updates on anything regarding COVID or the situation with this at this point.
Chief Muniz, any other, we're sure we're still doing the testing, still vaccinating, there's still several drives.
Testing, there are certain sites that are giving testing right now. The school is one of them. And there's some private labs that are doing testing as well. As far as the vaccination, because they're still doing the vaccination on the pharmacies, several pharmacies here in the H-E-B, Walmart, Dr. Falcon's Popular Pharmacy, Lino's Pharmacy, they're giving those vaccinations. Now, I understand that they started on the third phase already, on the booster. They recommend anybody that took it 8 months ago to start. So you can start getting your third booster shot, just to contact your family doctor, see whether they have the booster shots ready. They started already doing those vaccinations for the third ones. So the cases are steadily going back up here in our community at least, well, actually all across the country. But we are going at a rate about 15 per day, averaging positive. I took an average, and it's about 15 a day. We're getting about 15 positive cases. My recommendation is obviously to continue with the precautions that we're doing, keeping masks when possible, recommending. So that's basically what's going on right now. The state.
Continue with the protocols.
Continue,
At this
yes.
point,
Yes, by all means,
gotta
continue
manage.
with the, correct.
Very good.
When I was reading, where did I read somewhere about the, I know with everything that's going on with mask mandates in some school districts requiring others. I know Paris, ISD, I believe, was the one that was including it under dress code and see how that, instead of mandating it was part of the dress code now, so it seems that they might have found a different loophole around the
approach, yeah.
Yes, so chief, under dress code, maybe? Anyway, don't want to start any controversies, but I just thought it was rather interesting, the dynamic there where all that is going. But in all seriousness, I mean, it's critical, and
Yes.
I know the situation is becoming slowly, the numbers are increasing, and people are still afraid of the anxieties, and deservedly so, right? I mean, we need to be cautious and continue to take the precautionary measures and see what we can do to protect the public by all means. So,
And we're good that our county, our community is basically is the highest, and here in the valley at least is being fully vaccinated. That's a
And
good thing.
that's-
That's a good thing.
it is.
So, but we still have to be cautious because you can still contract it.
And can't say enough about all the entities involved in all the vaccination rates when you're considering over 75% of the general public, and then 95%, over 95% of the 65 and older. And that
Yes.
bodes well for the community's efforts. I know school
They
districts.
even gave the same percentage for 12 and over. It was up there in the 90s.
But that's
average.
a reading from Judge Vera's office, got 99%, which is too high, but obviously that's
Yeah.
the reading they get for a first dose and for 12 and up.
I think it says something
65.
like 93% of 12 and through 60.
Which is excellent for our community and all the entities that have done a tremendous effort in that. So kudos to every entity out there that has been part of this, both private and public sectors. So
Yes.
can't stress that enough. Thank you, Chief.
Yes, thank you.
Appreciate it. With that, do we entertain a motion at this time?
That's so movement.
Okay, we have a motion to approve item 4D by Commissioner Garza.
Second.
Second by, I think it was Garza, Commissioner Escobedo. Second by Commissioner Escobedo. All those in favor signify by raising your right hand. All those opposed, left. Motion passes. Next item is 5 contracts and agreements. Letter A, discussion and possible action to renew services with Blue Cross Blue Shield of Texas for health, dental, vision package, live and AD&D provided to city employees.
Yes, ma'am.
Item 5A.
Good afternoon, Mayor, Commission.
Hello.
In your packet, you have a memorandum that kind of gives you an overview of what the renewal rates for this coming year, 2021, 2022, for the Blue Cross Blue Shield. I also included the original, which was the first rate that they sent to us. It came in at a 14.6% increase. Went back and emailed our representative, and I reminded her that we do the bundling for the health, the life, the dental, and the vision. So then she went back and negotiated with their underwriters and brought back the bundle rate, which was the final best offer, came down to the increase of the 7.1%, which that totals a $28.69 increase for what we currently pay right now monthly for each employee. With that increase, it came out to $51,000 a year for the 148 employees that are enrolled in the health insurance. If we wouldn't have gotten that bundle, we would have had an increase of $105,000 for the year. So the bundling does help, and it brought our rate down almost half.
Well, thank you for using your negotiation skills, Ms. Brown.
I reminded her about it. And because we're very appreciative that the board pays for our insurance at 100%, because it's really hard to have the employees take on that cost.
And my question earlier, Ms. Garza, was, is it a good insurance? So if you have used it, I mean, how does it, I don't know if you can compare to other municipalities, but I mean, you don't have out-of-pocket expenses or cost.
Well,
like some of us.
I only get feedback from the employees and, well, my personal use, but a lot of the employees are really happy with it.
Okay.
The cost, back to them, well, the deduction is $1,000, but after that, the cost is very minimal to them. So, well, the ones that I've spoken to. And the pharmacy is also very, cost savings on their part.
So I guess my question is, this is a very good plan then?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I've not heard anything negative from any employee in reference to the actual coverages. They've all said that they're okay with it. And as long as we can get them to bring down the cost in spite of the COVID that we've had, and we had our insurance cover every 2 weeks that we were getting tested here, our insurance covered that. So in spite of that, we were still able to bring it down. So that really helped us, well, the city, to be able to pay it at 100% again.
And a doctor's visit is, what is the pay for a doctor?
The copay is $30.
$30?
Yes.
Very reasonable.
It is very reasonable.
And the increase is only on the health insurance portion, not life, dental, or vision?
Correct. It's only on the health. The dental and the vision stayed the same.
But the employees pay for those extra benefits, correct?
Yes. Yes. They have the option, whoever wants the dental, they have the option to go ahead and enroll in it. If they don't want it, then they won't have to do it.
Thank you, Ms. Brown.
Sure. And staff recommends the new renewal rate of $433.50 a month for each employee.
Yes, Mayor. If there's nothing else, I move to approve item 5A.
I'll second the motion.
We have a motion to approve item 5A by Commissioner Flores, second by Commissioner Ramirez. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by raising your right hand. All those opposed, left. Motion passes. Thank you, Ms. Brown.
Thank you.
Next item is 5B, discussion and possible action to approve a memorandum of understanding between the City of Ryodan City, a home rule municipal corporation, and the Star of Hope, a Texas nonprofit organization to assist the Rio Grande City Police Department with domestic violence, shelter, and other related emergency services.
Yes, Mayor, this is an MOU with Star of Hope, and the Rio Grande City Police Department already has a MOU with the Star of Hope, but this is for an MOU for the city of Rio Grande City. As you recall, there was going to be a check that was going to be awarded to Star of Hope, and this is the agreement that lets us actually do that. The operation that they do is shelter services, community care, and they assist in applying for crime victims compensation, and law enforcement agencies use them often. And again, that's a nonprofit, and sometimes they need a little bit of help, and this would be what we would be doing to be doing that for that program. So again, nonprofits are hard to keep up and going because of the funds that they need to operate. So this is an MOU. It's a 12-month MOU that has a 30-day out with a written notice, and it's only for 1 year again. So they got a good program, and that we have used Star Hope before, and so has a lot of the agencies in the county.
Ready to entertain a motion at this time if there are no other questions for Chief?
Yes, Mayor, I move to approve item 5B.
Okay, we have a motion to approve item 5B by
Second.
Commissioner Flores, second by Commissioner Garza. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by raising your right hand. All those opposed, your left. Motion passes. Next item, 5C, discussion and possible action to approve a facility license agreement between AEP Texas Central Company and the City of Rio Grande City permitting the installation of wireless communication equipment on city facilities and engaging in wireless communication services within the city service territory.
Mayor, this is, regarding the, I don't know if you remember back when Mr. Villarreal was mayor, they added some wireless points to downtown on Main and Second, and there are 11 points that gave internet to that area. I think that hasn't been working for a while, but it was a 5-year agreement that is already up for renewal, and each point, I believe, is $75 for that to be able to be put on the post where they're at. So that's the agreement. So if the city wants to continue to do that, we would get an agreement for 5 years allowing that to happen, and if not, we'd have to remove those devices. I know that there are some monies that might be coming in for the infrastructure. I think the EDCs had been paying for that part of the community of the internet that was wireless, and this would secure that we were able to use that if we decide to continue with that.
What is the cost on a yearly basis?
The cost, I'm not sure. I think Ms. Guillen, do you know remember what the cost of that was?
For what, sir?
For the internet that was on Main Street and Second?
The services is just billed through Spectrum. What we installed as an EDC were the actual
The routers or the devices?
that make the connectivity happen throughout the downtown. So just like you wire your set up wireless at home, you have a central location where you would connect your modem, let's say, and that sends a signal to every router you have in the house. So the EDC make the investment for the devices, the routers, and make that connectivity happen.
Okay, so just to be clear, what are we doing here, Chief? Because I'm really not
This is
understanding
to
this.
be able to have those devices on the telephone, on the post for the AP posts that are there.
Yeah, that was to provide, 5 years ago, wasn't, things weren't the way they are right now, Mayor. And we had installed a wireless system for for internet in the downtown area, specifically for the public, but mostly for the businesses that were there. But about 2 years ago, or maybe a year and a half, 2 years ago, we were supposed to check and see how many actual people were using it, because somehow it was determined that it wasn't being used anymore. Right. The way it was used at the beginning, and we were trying to find out the usage on it, and I believe that nobody was using it anymore. Everybody had their own services. You had those devices for hotspots and a whole bunch of new things came out.
If we had it, hold on.
Do you remember that?
Yes, so that report was provided to the EDC when we were inquiring about the usage of the wireless service downtown. And I don't recall the report per se, but I can certainly pull that information out. Obviously, with cell phones carrying data plans, unlimited data plans, it's really unnecessary for most folks to tap into it. But the service is still there and it's still available as long as we have active, subscription with Spectrum to be able to use that service. Now, what I don't know what you have before you, but what I think you're looking at is a license agreement to have the device on the pole. So remember that the pole belongs to AEP, it does not belong to the city. And so when we install anything on their fixtures, we need to have an agreement that allows us to have it installed. And that might have been done when this project initiated before my time, get permission to install these they're little boxes at the top of the pole. And I don't know that there is a fee for this renewal or not.
I think it's the same.
The agreement says it's $75 per box, and that's to be able to keep them where they're at. If not,
Okay, but what's the purpose of having it? Are we gonna keep using it? What's the purpose of spending $75 if we're not gonna use it?
Well, then that's for I guess for the future, if it wants to be used downtown for the growth of downtown, and that, I guess that agreement's up, so if we can actually go and actually do this, or we don't have to.
Right, and that's what I'm asking. In other words, what's the benefit to pay this for, I mean, is there a purpose? I mean,
The initial
at this
purpose,
point.
as Commissioner Garza explained, was to
I
provide that
understand
service.
the initial purpose, but
Right.
now, what do we want to do now? And are you all recommending for us to do this?
Well, I guess it goes back to what's
You
gonna
know,
happen
Mayor, there
downtown.
used to be talk
You know.
about it when it was first installed. I haven't heard anything from it in the past 2 or 3 years. If anybody's still using it or,
I mean,
We're not paying the service at the moment, right, with Spectrum?
No.
So the internet is, we don't,
No, it was funded through EDC, but I think 2 years ago, we decided not to because I think it was not utilized or used. So it was not cost effective, so we stopped funding it. But again, we can always bring it back if the city wishes to, but at this point, we're not using it.
we didn't even expand it, because because of that report that was given at the time, there wasn't any pattern that showed the need to expand it. Obviously, Frontera, that did the work way back when, has reached out to us most recently because there are cities in the valley that are, utilizing this service in their cities. A lot of our cities are also looking at underground, fiber and broadband, not wireless per se. I think the city of McAllen expanded their wireless points. We just have them in the downtown area.
correct.
We can certainly get IT to help us get a report for you guys to look at the usage, but it's likely that most people probably have service on their phones, and it's only for those that don't need it. Now, I have talked to the business community. There are some that use it for their patrons that come in, but they don't use it for their business because they need something more secure. And so if they're doing point-of-sale transactions, they like to have a secure wired line for that.
Yeah.
But
So maybe it would be better if we get like an updated report to see if
Correct.
there is any actual usage.
Right.
And this is just for the infrastructure, so, if it's not gonna continue, I guess, it won't go through.
And the fee 75 per pole, and how many poles is that? 11?
So, Mr. Castillo asked me earlier today how many of those units we have up, and I went pulled the original contract. There were 11 that were proposed, and we have a map where they laid them out. But since then, I don't know that they added any additional. I think we did it at the city, like behind the Tijerina courtyard, we added a few. But as part of this downtown project, it was probably 11 or 12 poles. And if we drive by downtown, we can count them because you can see them clearly on the top of the light pole.
Yeah. And I don't remember who set them up, so I don't know if we have to take them off ourselves or not. That's something that I need to look into because it's a fairly.
Plus, it's
The
probably old
equipment
It
is
not-
ours.
Yes, it's updated real
It's
quick,
not even
so.
updated equipment, so.
It could be updated.
I
Obviously,
think
the
those things
vendor
are
is willing
obsolete
to
right now.
upgrade if we want to, but the devices were purchased and they belong to the city.
To the city.
So if we choose to contract somebody to take them down, those devices come right back to city inventory.
Okay.
Outdated equipment.
Well, I'm sure, yes, I'm sure it doesn't
All right,
work.
so at this
At
time,
this time, Mayor, I would like to make a motion to table this item and bring this item back to the EDC board for discussion, but at this time, I'd like to table the
I
item.
second.
motion to table item 5C by Commissioner Ramirez, second by Commissioner Flores. All those in favor signify by raising your right hand. All those opposed, motion passes. Next item is 6, planning, letter A, discussion and possible action on final plat approval for the re-subdivision of Lot 1 of St. Ives subdivision.
Good afternoon, Mayor, Commissioners. This is the replat of Lot 1, as it says, of St. Ives subdivision. This is to accommodate for the new business coming up in St. Ives. And the last meeting, when it was approved, after preliminary approval, there was an extension of water and sewer lines to be extended to the northeast side. That's what we were missing. The engineer opted to give us a letter of credit, which we have on file securing that they're going to proceed and do the infrastructure. In the event they don't, we have secure funding for the lines. And it's ready for approval. It has been recommended for approval by the Planning and Zoning Commission on August the 10th.
All right, Entertain a motion at this
I move,
time.
Mayor.
Have a motion to approve by Commissioner Garza,
Second.
second by Commissioner Escobedo. All those in favor signify by raising your right hand. Opposed, left. Motion passes. Next item is 5B or 6B, discussion and possible action on final approval of the plat of Falcon subdivision.
Yes, Mayor, this residential subdivision to the west side of town, the area known as Los Treviños. This is 29 residential lots, and it's serviced by water and sewer from the city, and it's recommended for final approval by planning and zoning.
Where exactly is it?
You know where Camille Lane, Jackson Street, that area, just east of Charco Blanco.
I couldn't make out the map that's there.
West Santa Maria Street,
Yeah.
just north of that.
Entertain a motion at this time. A motion to approve by Commissioner Garza,
Second.
second by Commissioner Flores. All those in favor signify by raising your right hand. Those opposed, left. Motion passes. Next item is item 6C, and we'll consider item 6D, discussion and possible action for on-premise wine and beer retailers license by Ramiro Alcazar for business located at 403 East Main Street, Rio Grande City, Texas. And item 6D, discussion and possible action for on-premise retailers license by Jose Roberto Garza for business located at 111 East Main Street here in Rio Grande City.
Mayor, our downtown, I guess, is getting ready for football season.
Yes, sir.
We're getting, they're both on Main Street. That means Main Street businesses are reopening their doors. You know, we got a proposed brewery by Mr. Ramiro Alcazar. Is the Solis building right across the street from the police department. And he's proposing a brewery bar on location. It meets city ordinance requirements right across the street from the police department, so they're well secure there. And there's similar businesses next door, so.
Any disturbance right away, handle it.
Correct.
I make the motion, Mayor.
Okay, we have a motion to approve items 6C and 6D by Commissioner Garza.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Flores. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by raising your right hand. All those opposed, your left. Motion passes. And Mr. Milan, any other great news about what's happening here with all the commercial developments and residential?
Absolutely. Just yesterday, we received the proposed new re-subdivision of one of the lots. Basically, the remaining of lot 5. We don't know yet what businesses are coming, but that means somebody's already investing in one of those lots. And as far as investment, we had residential basically emphasis this last month, which is about $1.6 million worth of new homes. Still.
Excellent.
Yes.
Excellent. Thank you, Mr. Milan.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Next item is 7, executive session, chapter 551, Texas Government Code, section 551.071, consultation with attorney, and section 551.072, real property, and 551.074, personal matters, and 551.087, economic development. It is 7:24 p.m. executive session. It is 9:05 PM. Item 8, reconvene into regular session in consideration of action on matters discussed during executive session, including the following. There's no action on item 8A, no action on item 8B, no action on item 8C, and no action on item 8D. At this time, we have item 9, adjournment. We have a motion. Have a motion to adjourn by Commissioner Ramirez.
I second.
By Commissioner Escobedo. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Meeting is adjourned. It is 9:05 PM.
Let's go.